Beliefs about race and gender shape how the hidden curriculum is taught in schools. Teaching this hidden curriculum to students perpetuates normative ideas about how different races and genders should behave. The structure of a society is created through rules and social institutions like family, religion, and schools that teach normative behavior. What a person is allowed to do within this structure is called agency. Within this structure also lies social categories, which help group people on race, class, gender, age, sexuality, and ability. These categories are socially constructed, along with the behaviors that are normative for these categories. The way that people act within these categories is shaped through socialization. Socialization is how one learns the norms of a society through watching and living with that society. Gender and race are two specific social categories that are shaped through a belief in essentialism. This is the belief that belonging to a social category and engaging in the behaviors that come along with it are natural and biological. By seeing gender, race, and the behaviors that are associated with them as biological, the ways in which certain behaviors and attitudes are shaped by society are ignored. This becomes incredibly problematic when a person belongs to one or more stigmatized social categories. When this occurs, their experiences must be looked at through a lens of intersectionality. Intersectionality is when the experiences of individuals are shaped in a different manner due to their interconnected social categories. Intersectionality tends to be ignored due to the beliefs about individual social categories set forth by society. The experiences within intersectionality are often ignored for more specific definitions of what it means to fit into one social category. Socializing children on the basis of a social category can be problematic for many reasons. Part of the socialization that children receive once they enter the formal education system takes place through the hidden curriculum. The hidden curriculum is all the norms and expectations that children learn in school that are not part of the official curriculum. This hidden curriculum is problematic because it perpetuates traditional gender norms about the way children of a certain race and or gender should behave.
The beliefs that males and females are opposites indicate males are supposed to be big and strong, while females are small and weak. These characteristics label women as being vulnerable and men as dangerous and invulnerable. These gender differences even shape the way in which young girls are sexualized. In the United States, young girls are not allowed to be female and sexual. That defines the precedent that has been set that women should not desire. A sexual double standard then becomes a problem because men are only supposed to desire sexual encounters. As a result of this, it leads to slut shaming of young girls, whereas young boys are praised and celebrated for their sexual exploits. This works with the hidden curriculum because it shows how males are more dominant than women. Teachers reinforce this social control by how they interact with children in the classroom by allowing boys to roughhouse and girls are to be more reserved and participate in table activities. Young girls have more problems with their physicality due to their clothing. Teachers are more cautious of girls' clothing and this limits their ability to be active in the classroom. The hidden curriculum shapes girls' bodies to be controlled by another person. This is problematic because young girls are being watched more closely than young boys, and this can be a distraction when trying to pay attention in class. The hidden curriculum also separates African Americans and white children in the classroom. If African American children were to act out in class, they are more likely to get reprimanded. The hidden curriculum portrays that African Americans are criminals and endangered species. Due to this belief, African Americans who misbehave are adultified. This is problematic because it is punishing African American children as adults in relation to violence instead of understanding that they are children and do not know any better. When they are punished or suspended, it takes away from their class time and education.
Beliefs about these African American children come from the social construction of race and gender. Since the beginning of time, society has operated on the basis of performativity, which only dictates that a norm is presented, and for that norm to become so, someone just needs the right amount of authority to make it a norm. We believe that a baby is a boy or it's a girl because there is a precedent that has been set that determines that based on the genital or genitalia of that baby. To assume that something is biological means that it is natural. Something that is a norm is not natural. And to make something a norm, you only have to repeatedly enforce it so that it becomes so. This can be harmful. This can be harmful because norms that have been established for boys and girls do not always reflect their experiences. It can also be problematic because it helps promote toxic masculinity amongst boys. Beliefs about what it means to be masculine or not gay shape how young boys treat each other. Society has set a precedent that does not allow boys to show feelings and encourages violence because that's what it means to be a boy or a man. This is translated into the hidden curriculum through subtle ways in which school officials monitor and police children when there is misbehavior amongst boys and girls. At many levels, schoolboys are taught to stop playing so rough or to be careful with playing with girls, while the girls are geared toward more ladylike behavior and less aggressive behavior in general. The extent of this is seen when young boys are conditioned to recognize any acts that are not seen masculine as feminine. Saying such things as "stop crying, wussy" or "stop being a punk" are examples of ways young boys diminish the person they're talking to by making their status lower than that of a man. To stop enforcing the hidden curriculum in schools, children should wear the same clothing. If children are wearing the same clothing, teachers and students would not pay as much attention to their clothes and constantly need to fix them. This would cause children to pay attention in class more and focus on learning. Girls who are less constrained can be more participant in boy activities that they would not have been allowed to. If rules are clearly and equally enforced between the children, they would behave the same and be more accepting of gender diversity. Another way to address the issue is to disidentify with all the norms set out by society and stop enforcing them. In efforts to combat these norms that perpetuate the already flawed system of analysis, biology itself should focus on similarities between men and women rather than differences.